everybody, and welcome back to Autumn Lee at Home. I'm Autumn Lee if you are new. Today we are going to do something a little different and have fun experimenting with double chocolate chip artisan bread. Follow along with me and we'll go ahead and get started with it, mixing the ingredients last night. Our first three ingredients we're going to mix together, and that's 1.5 cups of warm water, 1 tablespoon of honey, and 1/2 teaspoon of yeast. And then we're going to give it a stir and allow it to sit for 5 to 10 minutes in a warm place. Next, we are going to mix our dry ingredients, and that's 3 cups of all-purpose flour or bread flour. Here I am using bread flour. After my bread flour, mix 2 teaspoons of salt and 1/4 cup of cocoa. I gave it a good stir, and it was time to mix our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients, and then I added 1/8 cup of olive oil. However, you can use any sort of neutral oil that you wish to use. I stirred all of these ingredients together, and what you will see is a shaggy dough where sometimes a little bit of the flour is not fully mixed in, and that is completely okay. You want it to look like a shaggy dough. Cover it and sit it in a warm place for about 12 hours. If you are new to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I'm so grateful that you have joined us today, and it is the next day. We mixed our ingredients last night. We are now ready to shape our dough, but before we shape our dough, I want to go ahead and get our Dutch oven in the oven at 450 degrees and allow them to start warming up together while we shape our dough and allow for the last rise for 30 minutes. Stick around till the end of this video and you will get a chance to see a taste test with me and my kids, as well as a few bloopers from filming. When I say experimenting, I am legitimately meaning experimenting with this recipe. This is not a recipe that I have looked up anywhere. It's just one kind of based off of having fun in the kitchen and using inspiration from other things as well. So I took a recipe that I did know and that I'm familiar with that is from Becky at Acre Homestead. She has a very easy 5-minute mix up rustic loaf of bread, and I decided to kind of tweak it, and I tried to use inspiration from different like brownie cakes and breads. There is a chocolate sourdough artisan loaf, and I wanted to kind of have inspiration from that as well. I saw there were many recipes for those breads, the sourdough chocolate or double chocolate artisan loaf, and I couldn't find any recipes that were similar but just not sourdough. So I decided to kind of take bits and pieces from different recipes and just kind of see how it would turn out if I just played around with the different amounts and different ingredients. And this was literally our first try and first go at it. And I feel like for the first try, this turned out great. Ultimately, I just want you guys to use this as inspiration and know that the kitchen doesn't have to be a scary place. It can be a really fun place if you just give yourself that grace of, if it doesn't turn out perfect, that's okay. You can try again next time. But having fun in the kitchen and just getting your hands dirty, letting your kids see you have fun in the kitchen, that you can create new recipes, just try new things and see how it turns out. Our Dutch oven is warming up and our dough finished rising for around 12 hours. It does not have to be perfect. You saw me just a moment ago go ahead and start folding the dough and folding the chocolate chips in. All I did to shape our dough was gently spread it across a lightly floured surface. You don't want to pull it too hard because it can rip. And then fold it kind of like a trifold, but with each layer you're going to add chocolate chips. Once you've folded it 2 times, you can go ahead and kind of gently tuck the edges in so that the chocolate chips in the side the bread don't cause the dough to rip on top. So just be extra careful with it. Then you set it on the oven covered in a warm place. My warmest place is on top of the oven, and let it continue to rise for another 30 minutes while the Dutch oven is continuing to warm up as well. That way the Dutch oven gets nice and hot on the inside and steamy. Once it's been 30 minutes, you take it off and you gently put a little bit of flour on top and put it on a piece of parchment paper. Then you get to score it. Scoring it just means that you take a little razor. If you don't have a razor, use maybe just a little knife that's pretty sharp to cut a design on top. for today, I just did something super simple to allow the chocolate to kind of come through, and that was I cut at just an X on top. Once it's been about 30 minutes, you've floured the top of it gently, you scored it. Now it's time to put it in the Dutch oven. So I got my Dutch oven out of the oven. You want it to be super hot, so just be really careful not to burn yourself. Then you take the parchment paper, just plop it in. I like to take an ice cube and put it on the outside of the parchment paper between the pot and the parchment paper so it's not touching the dough. But this creates steam, and you want the steam for the nice, beautiful crust on the outside of the loaf. Then it is time to place it in the oven and set the timer for 30 minutes. We have the double chocolate artisan bread dough in the Dutch oven, in the oven at 450 degrees, and I'm gonna set a timer for 30 minutes. And then in 30 minutes, we will take the lid off and let it go for another 15, and then we are all done. This loaf cooks for a total of 45 minutes, 30 minutes with the lid on and 15 minutes with the lid off. Now that it is out, one of the ways that you can tell that these loaves are finished is by taking the bottom of the loaf and kind of putting the loaf on its side and tapping the bottom. If it sounds kind of hollow, then you know it's completely finished cooking, and you just want to allow it to fully cool on the counter before you cut into it. Otherwise, it can actually have a gummy taste to it, but if you allow it to fully cool first, it actually is finishing cooking on the inside. I'm a little nervous about how this is going to turn out because Mommy's never made this before.
I picked a bigger piece.
You want a bigger piece?
Uh-huh.
All right, moment of truth. Ooh, look at that.
Yummy.
Oh, I know, that looks yummy. All right, which piece do you want?
This.
That one, okay. Uh-oh, you lost your top part.
Oh. Okay.
All right, you ready? What's it taste like?
Good.
Does it taste good? Let's see. That's really good. I was really worried that this would taste just like normal bread, but with like chocolate chunks in it. It does a little bit, but it's still really good and really fun dessert bread.
Yum, 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 yum.
And I think adding a little bit of honey and olive oil in there helped make it a little more moist and more of like a dessert bread versus just a sandwich bread type. I ate a piece first with the crust on the outside. Now I want to try like a piece from the inside that has like the melted chocolate. Here, I'll show you. That's like a melted chocolate chunk right there. And I want to see what that tastes like with just the bread.
There's chocolate on my hands.
Because there's chocolate in the bread. That's really good. This would be really fun idea for like even a holiday season. And you could mix candy cane crumbs on top, make it really holiday style, and it would almost be like hot chocolate bread with the candy cane crumbs with the mint flavor to it. Ooh, that would be really good.
Ooh, that looks good.
I asked if any of my kids wanted to taste test it, and of course they did. And 3 out of the 4 really liked it. The 4th one was not a huge fan of it, and he, I think, preferred more of the just standard loaf of bread. couldn't really put my finger on it with the bread. I really like it. It's really sweet and I really enjoyed it, so it's not bad. But again, today was an experimental day. It was my first time ever making this recipe. And I think something to consider with this one is just to maybe not put quite as much salt. I think it could be a little bit sweeter since it was a dessert bread. Maybe add a little more honey, not really sure. I'll tweak it again next time, but for now, I will put the ingredients down in the description below. That way you have them, and if you want to bake along with me, you are more than welcome to join me. And if you happen to find a little bit of a tweak to the recipe and you want to put it down in the description below that worked better for you, definitely let us know. I would love to hear your comments down below of things that you are not only baking, but also if you happen to bake this, I would love to hear your feedback. That would be great. Hey everybody, it is the end of the day and I just want to take this time to say thank you so much for joining me here today at Autumnly at Home. We were able to have fun in the kitchen, make a brand new recipe that is a double chocolate artisan bread, and I hope you guys enjoy it. There are a couple things I would do different next time, such as I wouldn't sprinkle the chocolate chips on top just because by trying to cook the bread and get it finished, those chips got burnt and kind of made the taste a little bit wonky as well. So just recommend don't put those on top. The chocolate chunks inside the loaf were fabulous. Those were fantastic. There are, I believe, some things and tweaks that I could make to the recipe to make it an even better recipe. I think that it did have a little bit of an aftertaste that I couldn't really put my finger on, but ultimately we did enjoy the recipe. I will definitely make it again. Pretty much all of my family loved it except for one kid, and to be fair, he doesn't have a sweet tooth. He doesn't really care for sweet items, so other than that, everybody liked it. And I really, if you try it and you want to follow along, I will put the recipe down in the description below. Please let me know in the comments what you think. If you make this recipe, if you bake it, definitely let me know your thoughts, things that you tried that maybe worked a little bit better, or if you just tried it and how it turned out. But I will put that down in the description below and put the recipe and the amounts and measurements down there. If you would like, I'm going to put a playlist right here that's called a Cook With Me playlist. You are welcome to just play it while you're cooking and join us for other recipes, other cooking nights, other food preservations, anything like that. We would love for you to join us. Please like, subscribe, and share down below. And I hope to see you guys next time. We have the double chocolate dough, artisan dough bread, bread dough. We have the double chocolate artisan bread dough. You ready for the elevator? All right.